What's up, everybody? Welcome to a full house version, and I'm your host, Danny Tanner, here on the YSN Power Hour. Of course, DJ Yoakley here. Mac and Quinn are at Barry Dingle's, not a sponsor yet. We've got the coach, we got EB, we got Ty Bartell in the middle, we got Jamie Thompson. So the ladies are going to be tuned in all hour right here on the Power Hour, and then you've got the guy. Everybody's tuned in on the other gender to see Paul Munson. So with that beautiful beard and that Easter-like shirt, we are ready to go. So, gentlemen, how are we today?
I think you missed Ty and EB.
No, I didn't.
No.
Did you black out right there, Frankie?
I guess.
I was mesmerized by Jamie Thompson. I just couldn't help it.
Look at this.
It
Look
starts.
at this already.
How's it going, Kate?
The female gender bows down to Jamie Thompson. We're just happy he doesn't have a cowboy hat and his shirt off or something like that this time around. So
I mean, I can go grab it right now if you want me to. But
our ratings will go through the roof. I think all of our sponsors say go for it.
I still got to get the tan going on, though.
See, there you go. There's another girl.
Look, Billy. Right there, Billy.
It is. We were talking about it, National Underground America Day. Don't know what that means, so we're gonna go with National Decency Day. Okay, so basically this is all about being decent. So the question to you is, who's the most decent person that you have or have encountered in your life? Mac, we'll start with you.
The most decent person that I know is me. All right.
I'm back.
Awesome.
All right, Quinn.
I'm just going to preface this. He had no idea what decent even meant before the show. I had to tell him, so I might have created that monster.
Stay away from my mother, Jamie.
Yeah, sure. My father.
That a boy. All right, Coach.
Also
No, it's definitely not Mac, but I'm going to go with my mom. My mom is probably the most decent lady anybody has ever met.
There you go. EB.
I feel like decent is like kind of negative too. Like if I said like, "Hey, how's Sebring football?" and I was like, they're decent. Like this. Like,
There's
bro,
a lot of people that would be okay with that, right?
so I was like, sign us up, please. Let's go.
That's still a higher bar than the coach.
I mean, like a decent person. I mean, all y'all are decent people. That's where I'm at with it.
All right.
You're not
enough.
great. You're just decent.
Ty Bartell.
Yeah, it's hard to steer away to when you in this context talking about decency to go away from parents, and I feel like that's going to be a very popular answer amongst everybody because, like, I mean, we're here where we are right now, most of us at least, because of the path that our parents, one or both, put us on. So I'd say, yeah, easily the most decent people I know are both my parents.
There you go. Jamie.
I'll go off the beaten path here. Recency bias. Last night I had to take my car over to the shop in Hermitage. My buddy lives across the street from me, Mikey Van Such. He followed me out there, drove me home. So decent guy. Gotta appreciate it.
That's a decent move right there. Muncie.
I think hands down is my wife's grandmother. I don't think that lady dislikes anybody, has ever said a bad word or thought a bad thing about one person. I mean, she's like the perfect little quiet church lady who would probably make you soup every time you walked in the house. So, yeah.
There you go. I'm going to go the easy route for most people. I'm going to go with my wife. My wife is the most decent person that I know, especially out in public. Like, everybody loves my wife because they don't see the dark side, the just very, very dark side that she's probably – yeah, she has sharper teeth than I do, or I ever will. I'm all bark, she's all bite. So I'm going to go with Sarah Lynn Yoakley with the most decent person I know. So I'll probably get my ass beat for saying that, but we'll see. What is decent? You just think I'm decent? She's going to go the EB route with it. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. She actually was – we talked about T-Ball Night in America before the show started. She stepped up and she helped out last night. It was awesome. We also had another parent step up. So the fighting YSN microphones, the mighty microphones, are ready to go. They've been training. They've been saying their prayers. They've been taking their vitamins, and they're ready to go. They're ready. We didn't use the tea last night, Billy. You'd have been proud.
And the
Cece-
coaches have to take their vitamins.
Cece went, yeah. I mean, I've been taking my vitamins for years. It's not doing anything for me. I'm 5'4.5", as it's well documented on this show. So, guys, there is a ton to talk about. Women do not have a dark side, DJ. Yes, they most certainly do.
Shut up, Kate. You're just decent.
And it's all in caps. So, judging by the all caps, I'm going to say that Kate probably has a dark side as well.
That was a dark side right there.
Very quickly. I mean, just watch Star Wars. That's all you have to do. And Coach, I'm looking at you because I know you've never seen it.
Not one.
That's crazy.
Interesting, guys. I don't know if you caught this last night. The OHSAA actually came out with a kind of a backpedal about the shot clock. They're looking to use it. They're not looking to necessarily make it mandatory for schools. But as we talked on the show, I think it was last week about the shot clock. How can you get away with some schools utilizing it and some schools not? I know, Coach, you got into a discussion based off of our friends over at 21 WFMJ, their article with another individual off of the YSN media page. Talk to me about, do you think that the shot clock is necessary? And do you think that schools are going to be able to afford this, given the hefty price tag that they're going to have to pony up?
So let me start off by saying I'm a fan of the goal of using the shot clock. However, I think that the cost is just going to outweigh the benefit when you start talking to some of these athletic directors, and you start talking about some of the costs that are going to be associated with this. And if you didn't happen to catch my comments last night, it could easily cost over $65,000 for school districts when you total up the fact that it's going to cost about $10,000 for equipment just for one shot clock. You double that, it costs about $600 per male or female basketball, girls or boys basketball, to have a clock operator present for that. And then the cost that I didn't even take into account was that a lot of these scoreboards aren't set up to be compatible with the shot clock device. And so you would be looking at, the need for most of these districts to buy two new scoreboards that are compatible just to make it happen. And we totaled up the price, and it was well over $60,000.
So here's a guesstimation.
We just Googled this on Google. A shot clock on BSN is $538.
That's for one of those little mobile ones
Why can't we just use
isn't
that?
hardwired in.
Why can't you just use that? Put a little.
Well, yeah, you could use a guy with a stopwatch, but that's not going to help him much if it breaks.
Yeah, but you're gonna have a visual. You won't have a visual on a stopwatch.
So the way that I read the statement from the NFHS was, yeah, there you go, DJ. We'll pay you to stand in the corner and just flash the numbers.
DeWine gets away with it.
That's right. So the way that the NFHS statement read was that you had to have it over top of the backboard or somewhere near the backboard, and it had to be tied in to the backboard. And then there was a little blurb in there too about the red LEDs that come on when the shot clock goes off, and how they strongly encourage districts to have those as well.
Because it's easier for referees to make that decision on if there's a shot clock violation.
Right.
I mean, I get it. I think Beaver Local, and correct me if I'm wrong, Beaver Local is the only team I know of that 100% has those. Does Fitch have it?
The red LEDs?
Yeah.
West Branch has them.
Do they?
West Branch has them. Marlington has them.
We don't have
Doesn't almost the whole EBC have them?
Does Salem have them?
No.
No, Salem doesn't.
No, but the bigger schools, a lot of the bigger schools where they have like a bigger basketball fund or organization that helps out, a lot of them have it. The bigger question isn't the cost on all this, though. The bigger question is, you have a tough enough time with a scoreboard operator by being a shot clock operator. Because now you have to know the rules in and out, because turnovers, shot clock resets. Hits a rim, resets. If it goes out of bounds but there's no possession, do you keep it the same? Like you really have to know the ins and outs of it. And like that ain't the like job where you sit there and you're like, oh shit, like I lost 1 second. Like you got to be on your P's and Q's when you're doing
This isn't high school kids running that thing.
Yeah, well, think about this too. I mean, from a football standpoint, how many times do you hear, "Would the game clock operator please reset the clock to yada yada yada"? Like you can't do that in basketball. It's
Dude, you hear it like 7 times a game at Sebring. Like Seidel's over there.
I get tired of turning around and yelling at my press box.
Matt gets on the phone and he's just like, all right, turn it to 627. They're saying 627, 627.
Let it run.
Coach is still trying to figure out that Waterloo half.
No, listen, the Waterloo coaches were trying to figure that out. I was trying to get my team off the field as fast as humanly possible.
Coach was for the sponsors before he joined YSN. That's why he had to take so many commercial breaks when he had to go into Sebring.
Will Cunningham says, people forget at West Branch we pay $100 per sport just for the kids to play. From what I hear, that's not the only school that has athletes pay. So basically he's talking about pay to play. How's this going to pan out if they make it mandatory? Is he talking about the...
They definitely have pay to play there, and it's definitely.
I think he's talking about the shot clock because, like West Branch, they have the red LED lights around the hoop. So obviously, I'm assuming, unless if I'm wrong, that he's talking about like, hey, our kids pay, so that's why we have.
Oh, gotcha. All right, gotcha. So they basically take those funds and put them into the programs. That's
right. That's what I'm assuming, unless if Will wants to correct us, but that's how I took it.
And that's the thing that becomes interesting to me is they want pay to play because of other financial issues. And so why are they dumping that money into things like LED lights and stuff if that's the case? I get confused on, where the money's being allocated and what the money's actually for.
Because they might have been taking money from those athletic foundations to push over there. Come on, you're a business guy, Seidel. You should know this. Don't ask for sponsorships if I have to break this down for you, bud. They probably took the athletic funds to pay for that, and now you pay for the athletic funds.
Muncie, did you have something?
Well, yeah, because I was like, some schools don't say it's pay to play. They'll call it like a transportation fee. But that's across the board for a lot of things. Like if you're in the band, you got to pay transportation fee because you're going to go in the fall for football games and things like that. So that's how they get away with it, because pay to play sounds worse to a parent than saying you have to pay a transportation fee because your kid is an athlete and we have to make sure they get to and from their games. So they kind of sneak it into that form. But to Matt's point, they're, coach, whatever you want to call him, I call him Matt too. But anyway, it's you put it shouldn't go to something like that. It shouldn't be paying for, hoops or red lights and all that stuff. It usually goes into the school's fund because they can't pass a levy or there's something going on that they need to pay for something else.
Sigler saying EB hit the nail on the head with the operator of the shot clock may have to be part of the officiating crew to run it, someone who knows the rules. Here's my question, and I typed this long thing up for social media last night and ended up deleting it just because I didn't want the hassle. And I'm going to say it right now. I would say 95%. We had 753 games on the network this winter. 95% of them did not get to the 35 seconds prior to a turnover, a shot, or a foul. So if 95% of the time we're okay under the shot clock, why are we installing the shot clock? Anybody?
Got me.
I mean, I can make a case for both sides. Do I think there needs to be a shot clock? In a sense, yes. But the game's so fast now that you don't have the means to do it. And if you have an official, like an actual official that has to do it, you have an official shortage already. So how are you going to make this happen? And then on top of that, if you're going to have an actual official, like that's another 65, 75, 85 bucks a game, whatever that pay is. Mm-hmm. So you're really stretching your means thin. I get the purpose behind the shot clock. Like it avoid the stall ball, it transitions everything into college and then it keeps everything, uniform. But Coach Hamilton and I were talking about this last night. Like you look at how we play. I mean, we're kind of, it's pick up the tempo and go. So a shot clock really, it would help us, but it also hurt us in some situations because we stalled a lot against some of these teams I remember when we played Marlington, there was like a good 2 or 3 minutes where we stalled against them just to make them, to pull them out to really defend us. Now, as a coach, I kind of like it depending on what the timing is on the shot clock. Probably for high school, you're going to have to go 35 to 40 seconds anyways.
The 35 is the general consensus.
Right. So you're kind of, it's irrelevant, but I think all it gets to do is you get to pick up defensively. You get to stun a little bit more. You get to, bring in some different concepts that you would do defensively that you generally wouldn't do. But it's just going to be, I'm not saying that I'm totally against it. There's just some things you really have to dot all your I's on, because you can't just say, hey, we want a shot clock because it looks good. Because there's a lot of things that go into it.
Is there anybody that is jumping on the conspiracy theory bandwagon with me here and saying that there's going to be some major multi-million-dollar deal with Daktronics or one of these scoreboard companies that comes out with not necessarily the OHSAA, but the NFHS, and all of a sudden, if you're talking about $65,000 a school, and the majority of schools in the country are going to have to do this, there's 700 to 800 schools just in Ohio. So think about this. That is a boatload of money. So what's the, again, if 95% of people don't even need the shot clock and we're going to install it, there's something pushing this from outside of the circle. Could it be business related? I mean, Jamie, would that make sense to you? Would you buy into that?
I mean, I could kind of see the conspiracy theory that you're kind of coming with there, but it's really to no surprise if a deal was to be made that way based on everything that has gone on since I've even been on the show, kind of learning, the back alley kind of negotiations that goes on, how we kind of feel that certain organizations always trying to pull a fast one on somebody. And I kind of looked at the shot clock as, EB talked about, high school, college, even pros, kind of like a seamless transition. I think it's needed in college and the pros because it's more like an entertainment value. You want to keep it up pace because you're selling tickets for thousands, hundreds of dollars. High school, you're not getting that type of revenue. I don't really look at it as, this is a way for us to kind of pull as much revenue from the sport as possible. We'd be instituting it just for the pace of play, but I don't really think it's needed from the basketball that I've watched.
Quinn, Mac, how do you guys feel about the shot clock?
I'm trying to refill my ear after Billy's little thing over there.
I love it. I think it's great. I think we should use it. And up tempo, words.
You guys drinking out of mason jars?
We might.
No, but I don't know what Billy dove on and ripped out my ear.
A whiny baby.
I am a whiny baby. I don't really mind the shot clock, I guess. I'm kind of in the same boat as EV.
Can you just be on one side or the other?
I'm in the same boat as EV. Like our offense, we just run and gun. Like we're very up tempo. I don't care. It doesn't affect me.
Then say you're for the shot clock.
No, because it doesn't bother me.
Pick a side.
They could have it or they cannot have it. I don't care. It doesn't bother us offensively.
Yes, we're for the shot clock.
He's still mad about his 1 hour motion that he had to run when he played.
Who is?
Billy.
Billy was a basketball coach? Okay.
No, he
Billy
played in an offense that required an hour-long motion to get a bucket. Isn't that right, Mr. William?
Yeah, sure. Leave it at that.
You put together a Traeger and you think you know somebody. Ty, how do you feel about this?
He didn't put it together.
Well, I mean, personally, yeah, I do like the incorporation of the shot clock for high school because I think it will seamlessly transition from college to pros. But in the same breath, I also understand that the money aspect of it is not the same as the college and the pros. And kind of to go off of what Jamie said a little bit, yeah, the pros and the colleges, they're making their hundreds and their $1,000s in tickets. That's why they're able to afford the not only the animatronics and the things that they need, the lights around the scoreboard and the actual working shot clock, and also to pay someone to operate it. In the same breath, too, when you start charging $65,000, if we're saying that's the rough estimate, at least for each school, say a deal gets done, Daktronics or whatever, and then you have to implement the shot clock in each school. I worry that by doing that, you're going to see a lot of these smaller schools with basketball programs start to evaporate, and you're going to start seeing them leave school programs because they just can't afford to support a shot clock if we start writing this into a rule that a shot clock needs to be used in high school basketball, and a school can't necessarily afford that. Some schools $65,000. That's a lot of money. I just worry about seeing some of these smaller schools that really can't afford it or don't have the funds for it. You see some of these basketball programs start to kind of evaporate for some of the smaller ones.
It's going to be interesting. I think that one of the things that I've learned, and I might be speaking out of school here, but I've heard that companies that have the scoreboards, whether it's Daktronics or whoever else, oftentimes will give the school free scoreboards as long as they utilize their advertising, right? So they get a piece of the advertising, everybody, kind of one of those things. So it'd be interesting to see if that's the route they go. But I guess my question, to go around the horn here, Ty, you had an interesting point. You saying this will make it more seamless from going from high school to college. Is there a problem? Is there a situation where there's a problem with going from no shot clock to a shot clock in college? I wasn't aware of this one.
I was going to talk about, I don't think that there's enough kids that are going to play college ball that they're having a problem with that. Like you're sitting there going, man, we got 4 kids every year that are going to college and they don't know that they can't hold the ball for 50 seconds.
They just can't figure it out.
Yeah, I'm thinking to myself, realistically, if you take our area, how many of those kids are going on to play college basketball on a regular basis that's that big of a deal? I mean, I think a shot clock is stupid because in this area, how many times do you see a game that either team has scored under 20 points? Unless that team is really, really bad. It doesn't happen all that often to where you're sitting there going, you need to have a shot clock because this team's going to sit there and hold the ball for 15 minutes so nobody else can score. I don't know. To see this right now, sitting there going, trying to cost schools $50,000 to $60,000, I think is ridiculous. And I would like to know what is the NFHS's reasoning to say, well, we're going to a shot clock now. Are you just saying it because you want this to be a new rule? Or is it like what you said? There's got to be something here that they're getting on the side to say, well, now I think, yeah, let's go ahead and do that because we're going to make some money out of this.
How many good programs do you see? And EB, you're probably the expert on this. How many good programs do you see that run that stalled offense for the majority of their schedule or the majority of a game even?
You don't. I mean, if you're going to implement something like this, I think realistically you have to give people time. So you could do it at for Ohio, like the Division I schools. Mm-hmm. A shot clock is probably going to pick up better because you have better athletes. You just get more to choose from. So I think of my buddy's team down at Pick Central. Like a shot clock, a lot of those kids are playing in EYBL, AAU. They're playing with shot clocks already, as far as AAU goes or anything like that. So that's going to be an easier transition for those schools, and they're also generally going to have the means to do it. I think if you're going to implement it into, we'll say Columbiana County area, you got to give people time. You got to say, hey, by 2025, we're going to implement it for Division II. By 2026, 2027, Division 4. Or you make it up to a league thing. You make it a league, choice if they want to do it. But then also, if you do that, if you're a league and you're going to say, hey, we want to go to a shot clock because, we're a better league, you better buck up some money too.
Yep. But that doesn't work either because then you've got, half of your schedule is out of conference games. And so what, you're only going to have shot clocks at home games?
It would be the same. Yeah, if it's at the home, it's an agreement before you even get into the game. Case in point, if we'll say hypothetically, Salem has a shot clock and we play Sebring doesn't have one, then that's a conversation between the athletic directors. Hey, do you want this shot clock?
Clock off.
Yeah, or you just all out of league games are non-shot clock games. If it's an out of league game, then it's exactly that. You don't have to go by the league rules.
It's like the designated hitter.
If I'm a conference that doesn't have a shot clock, and you're a conference that does have a shot clock, and you're saying, well, we're going to use our shot clock if you come to our place, I'm going to go, well, then you're coming to our place or we're not playing the game.
Or like I just said, dude, if it's a non-conference game, it's automatically no shot clock. I mean, it's like
if you're hunting for wins. I mean, a lot of these coaches in non-conference games are hunting for victories, right? And listen, there's a lot of, okay, we really like this team. We want to play this team because it goes back a little bit. But really, what I get from a lot of these ADs and a lot of these coaches are, okay, who can we go and get a win so our record looks a lot better come seeding time? You know, and that's the argument. And I think people would be willing to turn off the shot clock in order to get a team in their gymnasium and collect this guy too.
You know, on a reverse side though too, it might be one of those situations if it's implemented over years where a team might say, well, you guys have a shot clock. We want to come. It's an out of league game. Look, we know you're either better than us or we're better than you. Let's just do it to see what happens. You know, see how our kids take to it. You know, let them kind of make that adjustment period. It's like our league, we get 15 minutes to warm up. If we go play an ELAC team, they get 20 minutes to warm up. Like, you abide by that league's rules or whoever the host is.
I don't know who this Polar Knights is, but I like it.
Yeah. I think tomorrow or Monday you should organize us in, like,
okay.
Jamie knows he's at the first.
So,
Jamie,
all right, let's do this.
Jamie.
Here we go. And I think there, and then here.
Yeah, that's it.
That works.
That's it.
So we have the evolution of the beards on YSN.
His might be like bigger, but I think mine would be towards the end because of the gray color, right?
That's true.
We're going by growth. We want the
Paul,
growth.
You want to be Father Time? There you go. You can hang out next to the Grim Reaper.
Damn kids over there.
I definitely do agree with EB, though. If it's agreed upon before the game, then it should go through. You know how I feel about that. Madison Bumgarner, 7-inning no-hitter. He had one. That's all I need to say.
I agree.
Yeah, sure. He had one. So did everybody else in the major leagues this year. So congratulations. Grab your ticket. We are going to take a break. Before we go, though, we are going to introduce you to the final installment of our All YSN softball team, including the Coach of the Year for YSN. We'll be back right after this. Congratulations to the honorees, and we will have a write-up tonight with every single player that has been honored on the All YSN team. Congratulations, and here we go.
Details. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is one fine ride. Perfect cornering, superb handling, sporty and stylish, power to spare, plus awesome mileage. Yeah, jaw-droppingly beautiful lines and well appointed with luxurious trim. Put more oomph in your life and start beholding the molding. Find your home's fine hardwood at BairdBrothers.com.
Planning a project around your home or rental property? Trust the electrical service to the local experts with 62 years of serving the Mahoning Valley. Joe Dickey Electric is your local go-to source for responsive, reliable residential electrical work. From everyday maintenance and repairs to new installations, electrical upgrades, and safety inspections, no job is too big or too small. Call Joe Dickey Electric today, 800-549-3976, or visit DickeyElectric.com. That's DickeyElectric.com.
For heating, cooling, and indoor air quality, the Mahoning Valley trusts MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning, offering worry-free repair, service, and installation. Call MP Vivo today for a free estimate.
MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. We're your energy efficient experts.
If you're looking for a new Ford vehicle, why shop anywhere else but Tri-State Ford? Choose from our great selection of new Ford models. Plus, we've got you covered with our exclusive Tri-State Ford Advantage. It includes a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty with your new Ford. Come see why so many customers from the Tri-State area buy their new Ford at Tri-State Ford.
Customer focus, community driven. Tri-State Ford East Liverpool or visit tristateford.net.
And welcome back to the YSN Power Hour. DJ Yoakley with you, along with a few of my friends. Feeling like football season, guys. With everybody
we're dropping like flies, though. We started with like 9. Now we're down to 5.
Yeah, we'll be all right. We'll be all right. We've done this with 2, so as long as we don't get down to just me, we're going to be okay. So, one thing I wanted to talk about, guys, over the past couple weeks, Ohio has been making strides to get sports betting into the Buckeye State. Everybody around us, I mean, you look at West Virginia, Indiana, Pennsylvania, we're basically surrounded by states that bet on sports, and we're losing money, we're losing revenue, tax money to those states. Do you feel like it is time for the Buckeye State to get on board with a little bit of cash on the counter? Jamie, we'll start with you.
I mean, there's no doubt about it, and it can kind of go from a firsthand experience here is, people that I know, my friends, and myself included, you have to take a trip just 5 minutes that way and go into Pennsylvania. You sit in a couple parking lots and you're able to place bets online with, FanDuel, DraftKings, whatever your choice is. Like it's really not that hard. So why not just go ahead, legalize it here? Because if not, people find a way to get it done, whether it's, through one of those online sites or illegally if they have to. I don't want to have to put it out there, but it's true. You're just losing money. It's not good business. So legalize it and let's make it easier for everybody involved.
Ty, your thoughts?
Well, I think it's a huge cash boost for the state too, because like the tax revenue and everything that you can do with that, and just the money that you can make in general for just the state itself would be absolutely huge. Because it's a huge cash cow of people that are going to jump on it, whether you go on the FanDuel or DraftKings or whatever, or you could just place it in casinos too, like right down there at Hollywood Gaming. Perfect example in Austintown of one that's in Ohio in the area that you can have the ability to do that. Then would be I think it would be a huge, like I said, cash cow for the state.
Love it. And Michael Page says, I need sports betting ASAP. EB, I saw you nodding your head.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you? You already have casinos, so why would you not add to that situation? Because now if I'm a casino, people aren't coming to, we'll say, Jack's or Hollywood when they can go down to West Virginia or over to PA and place a bet on sports, especially when it's that close. It's dumb not to have it right now, and especially coming out of a pandemic, these states are getting hit left and right with, unemployment and payouts and all this other stuff. So this is just another way to, bring in a revenue stream, and you're already surrounded by it. So now you're going to be the last one to the table. Time to, shit or get off the pot, more or less. And look, we can have a lottery about if you get a freaking vaccine, but we can't have sports betting. So you're a sports state, especially come football season. Just open it up at this point.
Matt?
So correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think that the issue has been whether or not, or who's going to get the money off of this, right?
I don't know. I mean, there's a bunch of people I've seen in the news, ministers saying that it's illegal to gamble in the Bible, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, why are like either legalize it or don't. The money is probably the biggest hang up, I would say, about where it's going to go or where it's going to funnel down to and how much pieces of the pie you're going to get. But I mean, does it matter at this point?
So I guess my only thing on it would be, and I mean, my libertarian side's going to come out hardcore because, do whatever you want to do as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else. But I think that they've got to straighten the money thing around because they did such a poor job with the lottery, and we were all sold such a bill of goods on the lottery on it. It's gonna go towards schools and it's gonna fix the funding education problem that we have, and that's not been the case. So as long as they can get the money right and get it figured out the right way, then I'm all for it. Let's do it.
Well, you can get your shot and be like EB said. You could be in the Hunger Games lottery to win $1 million.
You know how many Browns fans there are in Cleveland, too, that bet with their heart that you can make so much money off of?
Sucker bets.
Oh, my goodness. How many think they are going to the Super Bowl every year? There's so much money to be made in Cleveland.
Yeah, but, dude, think of, when the Cavs won.
Oh, my God,
dude,
dude.
Do you know how much money, like if Cleveland as a city ran out of beer, imagine if you throw in betting in that, too. Good God. It's
Game 7, everybody was betting in Cleveland. Everybody was throwing bets down in Cleveland for sure.
Oh, not shit, man. Just set up a VPN over in PA.
I would just be real interested. I mean, here's my issue, and I've expressed my opinion before on sports betting, and obviously we have a vested interest in it from our standpoint, being a sports network. But I would say this is you're allowed to gamble in the state of Ohio. That it's no different to me. It's more of a not want to say legalized, but a more structured, strategic gamble than pulling down a slot on a slot machine, right? Like you can control your bet a lot more in a sports gamble, in a sports bet, because okay, I like this team. I'm going to bet on this team. I'm invested. Or you can go a good friend of our show, and all of us know, doesn't like to bet on his team, so he bets on the opposite. So that way, if his team wins, he wins, and he loses a little bit of money. So you're allowed to smoke, you're allowed to drink, and they're kicking around the idea of legalizing marijuana. So out of all of those things, I think sports betting's probably I don't want to say the least addictive thing, because that's probably a case study in the making, but it's the thing that's not going to hurt you, immediately physically, right? Or am I wrong? Am I missing something?
No, I think legalized betting's got less of a chance of hurting you than illegal betting.
Take it to the streets. Let's go.
I like my thumbs. I like it just fine.
My kneecaps would like to stay where they are, please.
Yeah, I just don't get it. I don't see the hang up. And it again, I'm starting to see a little bit of a pattern here. It's all about money and where the money goes and how the pizza gets cut up a little bit. Shout out Pizza Reviews in Youngstown, our people over there. I don't understand really how this has taken so long or why it's taken so long. Usually it's like the copycat league, the NFL. When you see something and it's done well and it's done quickly and it's done successfully, you want to jump on board. And, again, we're sitting here and we're talking about free scholarships and 5 chances at $1 million, but sports betting is no. We gotta figure this out. We gotta make sure we do this right. Wait a minute. And this is my personal opinion. When did the government ever make money? I don't understand how they generate money. Oh, that's right. They take it from us. So I have my money. You all have your sum of money. I feel it's okay to go gamble it however I want, spend it however I want. I could go buy a dump truck. I don't have my CDL. It's going to sit there. How is that any more of a gamble than me betting on the Steelers or betting on one of my teams? I don't see it.
I think it's great. Like I was thinking about this other day. Like if you legalize gambling and you have like all these malls and all this stuff set up, like if I was a Southern Park Mall, I'd keep one wing for your shops and then go straight to an entertainment district where you have your different internet cafes. You can do your betting cafes,
movies,
and then you sit there and you turn around and you do like an outdoor like I guess entertainment where you set up a stage and you can have concerts and at that point you can bring in food vendors and different vendors to where it's all on these blocks that are pretty much pre-made for you, like because we're past the setup and the time of where we need malls everywhere. So instead of letting all these things die, now you can really vitalize with small businesses. You can bring people in, and then a lot of that money that's you're betting with is going to go back to that facility or at least that area anyways, which you take a place like Youngstown, Ohio, wouldn't be too bad because now you can start to partner up with Cavelli and Jax and all this other stuff. And you just start to breathe life back into the area.
And I think
go ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm with EB on this because if you want to figure out a way to revitalize malls in this country and bring business back to in-person shopping, you put a sports book at the end of the mall and guys are going to be like, hey, honey, you want to go shopping? Hey, I'll take you. Let's go. Here's your credit card. I'm going to take mine over here and we'll meet back in the middle when it's lunchtime.
Now you have to think like the wife here because the wife hears that you're going to go spend money. However, if you hit, that's an extra Louis Vuitton. That's an extra Louis that you can get away with if you just let your guy do his thing and do it well. So don't just think of betting as losing money. I mean, there's been a lot of people that have made a lot of money. I mean, you look at us. I mean, some of us on this panel, myself and Quinn, more than most, are invested in crypto. We have bought into crypto, and now everybody that's in crypto thinks that they are like a stock market, like Wall Street investor. And it's
to the moon, baby.
To the moon. But I mean, it's when you do that, you gamble. What's the difference between sports betting and stock market? Tell me, explain that to me, and I would love to see the breakdown on that.
The only difference is that the risk is spread out over a longer period of time with the stock market.
It's longer than an hour and a half, but sometimes it's not. You could put your money in and lose everything, lose your ass in an hour. So
or like yesterday when Elon Musk makes a comment about Doge and it jumps 20% in 45 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not. Isn't he the same guy, by the way, that put all? I'm all in on crypto. I'm all in on crypto, and then comes out and trashes it, says we're not taking it anymore, and it plummets.
He's a genius.
He's a dick.
And then he bought all of it.
He did it. He used the Bitcoin to show profits for Tesla.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which was absolutely like how people didn't sit there and call this out, but it's smart because he used it to show profits because there's liquidation. And then he just said, "Screw you! I'm going to Doge. Higher return, bigger market right now. Just roll with it."
But what's funny is with that, you got Dave Portnoy that comes out and endorses crypto, and then Gary Vee comes out and endorses Ether. So you have. Those two go through the roof, and if you're in on those, I just can't. I want to get in on Doge, but I use Coinbase, not a sponsor yet. But I think that's. I mean, I don't know anything about any of this, but I know that I feel like I am on Wall Street right now with crypto and Coinbase.
Well, if you want to give me some money, I'll throw it in on my Doge. I mean, it's 56 cents right now. I mean, I'm up 1,700 so far on the day. So
I'll give you a hundo. I'll give you a hundo.
Roll with it. We'll throw it in there, and then
Amo is all in on Doge. So is DJ. He's about to be all in on Doge with EB. Anybody else? Is anybody else in crypto?
Dude, I bought Doge at 0.003.
I was at 0.006, and I bought $100 worth.
I've only lost on one. Like I've put money, like I'm trying to diversify. I've got $250 in of my money, and the rest is just profit. So I'm up to almost $2,000, and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, okay, as long as I took out my $250, I'm playing with house money the entire time. So it's been interesting to me I don't know how this turned into a crypto conversation, but I like it. It's been interesting to me because was it Ren? I think I put some on a Ren coin because it was spiking. And it just, I got 10 cents in it now.
So to tie it back into sports, so now you've got Elon Musk talking about that he's going to allow people to buy Teslas just with cryptocurrency. Can you guys see a day where you can buy tickets and buy merchandise with cryptocurrency?
Dallas is doing it. The Mavericks.
I thought so. It's got to be coming soon.
Yeah,
right?
the Mavericks are doing it. So it's gonna take time. Because it's that new thing, so people don't still have questions. They don't trust it yet. But once enough people jump on board.
This comment. Yes, sir. Well done.
That's how you do it.
It is.
You put in $100. If you end up getting $100 profit, you take your 100 out, and then you just play. But can we do a YSN coin? Can somebody
Can it be Betos' face on it?
Oh yes, yes.
Beta Betos. Let's go. I mean, dude, like Doge, I put in $10 and I'm up 1,700. It's so even if it drops down to like 10 cents, at the end of the day, I'm still ahead no matter what. It'd have to completely tank, but it's gonna keep going in waves. Especially if someone like Elon Musk can sit there and just send out a tweet and it fluctuates the whole market. Wait till some of these other people get on.
Wait till it's accepted nationwide, and this can be a worldwide currency if they really do this right. As far as I've seen, the world's online. They are loving what they're seeing from crypto. I mean, this was something that a while ago people were like, "What is this? It's just invisible money. It's fake money," and now it's being accepted. Some places are accepting it as same as you do the dollar.
Yeah,
we have here 10-year prediction at $100 is like, wow.
Yeah. There's some of them that are just going insane. What I'm disappointed in is I remember back in high school hearing about, the tail end of high school, the beginning parts of college, hearing about people that were building these supercomputers that were mining Bitcoin and being like, oh, nerd. And I had a buddy that was like, oh, hey, if you want to buy in on this, I'm going to build one of these computers. I didn't jump on that opportunity.
Those are the same people that were like, yeah, we're just coding. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? We're just coding. Coding's the future. Okay, buddy. Good luck. And all of a sudden, they're teaching coding in school now. And I'm like,
yeah, coding sucks, man. I hate it.
See, there it is. Oh, by the way, I think since we talked about Bitcoin and we talked about crypto, we have to say that we are we are not advisors at all. And anytime that you invest in crypto or anything like that, there is risk and you can lose everything. So trying to cover our ass from all different angles.
Yeah, don't listen to us. Now, if you have a drink.
You can, however, pay me for advice, but I guarantee you it comes with no guarantees.
No, it just comes with a good day of listening to Coach. And the golden pipes, the gravelly tones of Matt Seidel. Guys, before we get to our G Bourbon Farms, what's your beef? What's your filet? What would you buy? What would you buy if someone gave you crypto? Let's say you hit big for $1 zillion. Let's just say you hit big for the $1 million from the shot that Ohio's giving away. What would you buy? What would you buy? What's the first thing you're going to and you're saying that's free money? Like you're trying to save your life and save those around you, and you hit the mega millions of the Ohio government lottery. Jamie, what are you buying with $1 million?
Oh man, no, that's what I'm hoping for in my AMC stock. I want to get to the million and sell it all off. But if I don't know. I was thinking about that last night. I was talking to my one buddy, the one that took me out to get my car dropped off. I want to buy a super nice car. I was thinking a Lambo, but I don't know. It's a tough decision. There's so many things that could be bought. A house would also be one, but I'm also at the point, I'm 20. I don't really need my own house. I don't need a super fancy car. So I'd probably have to find a way to invest it and just make sure I don't have to work for the rest of my life.
I'm pretty sure if you were in your house, in your parents' house, and you had $1 million, they'd be like, hey, James, you might want to pay our house off or get your own damn house.
Yeah, they would ask for definitely a little bit of a kickback, but they wouldn't have to ask because I'd give it to them anyway.
You might have a little bit of rent check coming. Ty, $1 million. What are you buying?
I'm definitely gonna get a nice house for me and the family. Set that up, and then definitely, the luxurious thing I'd go to. You get season tickets. Cavs, Indians. I'd get season tickets for Browns, and then I'd just do the fluctuation where I'd go to a few games, sell the rest of them, and try to make the money back just to keep buying them year after year. And then I'd probably just bank and invest the rest of it and try to just keep making more profit off of that, honestly.
We're going to have Tommy on. This is a great comment by Amo. First off, hitting the sponsors. We do have WRS Wealth Management. Would it be interesting to see if, hey, I just threw like $250 in here. Is it even worth their time to be like, you're an idiot? Or I mean, you're making money. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like if I'm selling baseball cards and I'm making money, that's a good wealth management strategy, right?
It's all about diversifying. I mean, everybody that I talk to, my financial advisor, the financial advisors that I know, they all tell you that you need to diversify as much as possible. So I think that they'd be on board for, taking a small percentage and investing it that way. But it'd be interesting to talk to the WRS guys about it.
All right, Spanky, you get $1 million. How are you diversifying it, Mr. Coach Seido?
I think Doug Horning just hit it on the head right there in the comment box.
You're buying purple turf?
We're getting purple turf in Sebring. No, actually. So I'm on this big kick right now with the Dave Ramsey plan and becoming debt-free and all that stuff. And so I'm paying off my house and investing the rest. And, yeah, there'd probably be some sort of a donation towards turf in Sebring in that money too.
There you go. EB?
Man, so I would buy, there's a lot of land out at like 7 and 14. I'd want to buy like 10, 15 acres, put in a sports complex. And it would have, I just saw one like this up in Cleveland. It's called Lost Nation. And it has a section where it has batting cages, it has 2 or 3 basketball courts, and then it's just turf. And like the basketball courts are actually kind of on the turf too, to where you can always put more in. But, it has about 60, 75 yards of just turf. And then you can split that up into, if you need soccer or little kids soccer, this and that, to where you can break it down. Dude, I would want to put something in like that. I know exactly where, because it would be more for me to get a return on my investment. Because I think if you put it in like right there, you pull from PA, West Virginia, Ohio, and you start to pull really, really from the Pittsburgh group. And there's not much like that around here. So I think you could really, that's like kind of my dream, to always own something like that. And I think you could really utilize and help out some of the schools too with the overflow.
I would be, and I hope my wife's listening right now, because my buddy and I actually came up with that idea. And the place right across from YSN, the giant like factory,
the warehouse,
warehouse is what we decided. We were like, let's just buy the warehouse, and we could put turf down and have there's this monstrosity of, people, because there's office space up top, so you could have meeting rooms for coaches and stuff like that. Because listen, you look around the area, and one of the biggest things that people don't have, meeting rooms, facilities, indoor training, especially for baseball and softball. You have a few of them, but there's no mega complex. There's
right.
No super duper complex where you can have games of baseball and softball at a smaller scale. Inside that warehouse, you could have a game. Like I'm convinced.
I would do it 7 and 14 right across from Firestone Farms. There's a house there who the Beldings actually own, or they sold or something like that. And they have like 10 or 15 acres behind it. And that's actually Firestone's original like area. So the naming would be super easy to do. You just sit there and throw the naming rights to the Firestone
Fieldhouse.
Yep. And then you're right there, 7 to 14 farmland. So you'd be able to have ample parking. You have an entertainment district that's already tied in right to it, to where you have bars, restaurants, everything else. And just the logistics of it all, you have 14 going straight into PA, so easy to pull from Pittsburgh. You have 7 going straight up into Youngstown and down to Liverpool. It's
people in Columbiana are sitting there like this, writing it all down. Thanks,
yeah.
EP. Here's a tip from WRS: don't give away your great ideas.
all you rich MFers out there, like, hey, look, I'm giving you the idea. It's set up. All you have to do is put up or shut up. I just don't have the money for it. So, Doge, keep going to the moon. Then it's going to be there.
Hello, Shark Tank. Yeah, I'd like to come on your show.
Weird thing about Shark Tank, though, it costs you like $20,000 to go on Shark Tank.
What do you mean?
Like you have to pay, because no matter what, the amount of advertising you're getting from it, like instantly. And not only that, but 1% goes straight to who is it, Mark
Cuban,
Bruner, or whoever owns the actual show. Yeah. Like, so 1% automatically he's invested in, but you pay like $18,000 to get on that show.
So who's the guy that came up with Shark Tank that's getting paid?
It's that Mark, whoever it is.
Yeah, I mean, but you know what I mean? Like, you sit there and you go, okay, you're paying us to go on our show on ABC that we own, and it's one of the most successful shows of all time. Interesting. I mean, I think for $1 million, there's a lot we could do in the Yoakley house. I mean, we're renovating the house right now. I can only imagine what we could do with $1 million. She'd get a house. I mean, she wants a house right now. We're in the market. So it's one of those things where she's going to get whatever she wants. She's deserved it. She's had to put up with me for the better part of 12 years as her husband. So that's where we'd start. Where we end, I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things. Like, she wants a lake house. One of those situations. She likes being on the lake. Being in the sun, stuff like that. So that's probably what we do. I could care less. Like, as long as I have a big TV, maybe one on each side of it as well, so I can play a video game once in a while and then watch and not feel like I'm missing something by being absorbed into the television, I'm good. I'm real good. So, all right. You know what time it is? It is time for the G. Burber Farms What's Your Beef? What's Your Filet? Brought to you by our friends on New Buffalo Road in Columbiana. And it is a perfect weekend, ladies and gentlemen, to get out there and get those grills set up. We know Billy Mack is going to be out there. He's got his new Traeger out. It is time for you to get out and try out our friends at G. Burber Farms. The best meat. Here's the tagline. It's just a tagline. You can't beat their meat. So that is that was from Greg himself. He pushed it over to me and said, use it and use it wisely. So that is one of his new taglines. It's on the shirts. I swear to God. And
the show just became PG-13.
That's what got it to PG-13.
Bro, where you been?
Not Quinn saying that Billy put something in his mouth or whatever, or put something in his ear. Let's get to the G. Burbick Farms. Again, visit them on the web, gburbickfarms.com, or go to New Buffalo Road in Columbiana, and tomorrow 10 to 4, they have open hours, and make sure you say hi from the guys at YSN. Jamie Thompson, you're our leadoff hitter. As always, lead us off.
I was going to go with the dealership for taking forever, not even giving me any updates on the car, but I missed like 5 minutes of the show because they finally called me, so I had to answer it. So I can't use them. Going to have to go back to Monday. I put out like a pregame tweet about Hubbard pulling baseball. You guys all know the story. Couple guys, had to retweet it, had a couple things to say, flaunting that, we got disqualified. I've never seen a group of people so excited to win on a technicality and be proud of it, but we'll just leave it at that. Congratulations, you lost, and you're one of the only teams in the state of Ohio to lose twice in the playoffs, and it's not a double elimination tournament.
Moving on, Ty Bartell, what do you have?
Well, we'll go filet after that, Pete. My filet is just the way Cleveland Indians have been playing. I'm all in on them this season. They're doing really good. Another win yesterday, almost a no-hitter, 7 innings that time, but doesn't count because we were predetermined that it was 9 innings. But no, just the way that the Indians are playing, and I just hope the highs stay high and we don't go through too many more lows.
Amo says, Filet, please, I forgot his cleats, and the equipment manager had to go get him cleats, and he pitched his best game yet. Poe had a story about how they had to stretch the cleats to get him on his foot because they were a size too small or something. Filet woke up to a significantly higher credit score, slowly but surely. All right, Paige, that works.
There you go, Paige.
That works. All right, EB, what do you have?
I don't know. I'm actually about to go out to G. Burbick Farms and grab some meat that hopefully I don't have to beat. But I really don't have. Dude, the weather's nice. It's sunny out finally. Like we're getting into the good part of Ohio. Like, as much as we bitch about everything in the weather, like I enjoy days like this. Yeah, it's not the warmest, but the sun's out, sky is blue. Get to sit here and drink some high noons with some friends, and Jamie's beef was just awesome. So on to the next.
Nooner.
Yep. So double helping of filet for me today. And first one is, Jamie, that was awesome. Second one is, if you've been following along at all with me, you know that, the guys make fun of me for being a farmer and doing redneck stuff. And my wall is finally complete. I finished it up last night. Big block wall that I've been building for what feels like an eternity now, and I'm ready to move on and build the next wall.
Trump 2020.
Got to keep the Mongolians out. Let's go.
Mine is gonna be it's gonna be a filet. It was awesome. It was a very nice surprise to see everybody pop up in the YSN Power Hour for once. That wasn't in. We weren't talking about football on Friday. So I appreciate you guys jumping on. It's always good to see your face, Jamie. Good to have you back, Ty. I'm glad things are looking up for you. You've been going through some. I don't want to say rocky times. They're not bad. It's just just some adversity, and you fought through. So it's good to see you back on the show, where you're always welcome here, man. So excited.
Adversity, isn't that a Civil War era battleship?
It's an old wooden ship.
Yeah.
Hey, you're decent. That's cool.
That's decent. Decent show, guys. Decent show. That's going to do it for our show. I hope everybody out there has a great weekend. We appreciate you tuning in. As always, we thank our sponsors for being part of it. AMO, we appreciate you. And, of course, Friday is going to be fun as well. We'll see who's jumping out. What is this?
That's my wall.
It's shaking. I can't see it.
Oh, boy.
Well, I'm holding it like this.
Here we go. On we go to the weekend. Hope you have a good one. Stay safe, stay sound, and we'll see you on Monday.
Stay decent, people.
Fly the flag.